Yeah, we're going to try it. We're going to try it. We're going to give it a shot, right? Oh, what's happening, everybody? Welcome to this edition of Wednesday Live. That's right, Wednesday Live, a.k.a. Snow Day. Snow Day for me. If you went back and watched my last video before this one, it explains it all. If you haven't watched that yet, go back one video behind this one. You'll see what's going on, you know. Before the storm, part 1, 2, and 3. Yeah, so we're not going in today, as you probably already know. So we're just chilling out at the house, trying to enjoy the snow day. So hopefully this is coming across okay, I hope. And so we're just going to have a little fun, maybe chit-chat, jam on some guitar, and have a good time, right? Oh, yeah, let's get warmed up. Micah himself is in the house. He's first, he says, to comment. Hey, man, how are you doing? Yeah, we're going to give it a few minutes here and let people get the notification. Hopefully they'll start jumping in here pretty soon. They usually do. It takes a few minutes. But thank you, Mike himself, for jumping in, man, and taking the time. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate that. And so what are we playing today? Fender Strat. Yes. And this is, I like this Strat. I tell you what, I found this sticker on Facebook, I don't know, about a year ago. And it is the coolest sticker I've ever seen. It's Kermit the Frog playing a striped guitar with a cigarette in the headstock. You know, you tell me that ain't a Van Halen reference if you've ever seen one. Hey, ho, Kermit the Frog here. I'm going to jam now. I saw that sticker. I said, I've got to have that, man. So how cool is that? You know that is not officially licensed product. But it's really cool, man. I enjoyed it a lot. And Fender Strat, made Mexico Strat. Oh, golly, when did I get this? I want to say it was in, well, it looks like it's, 02? 2002, made in Mexico, yeah. And I put new strings on it earlier, so what better time than now than to play it and stretch it out? You know, of course, I played it earlier to stretch them out, because when you first put strings on, man, if you don't play it for a while, you're in for a bad surprise. So play it for a while and stretch them out, get them level, get them settled in. Leveled it, whatever. Leveled, settled, whatever. Mike himself says they got bad weather there too. Yeah, man. It's the way it is here. I mean, it's I don't want to give nothing away from the previous video, but yeah, it's not safe to go out and drive, man. Not right now, So tomorrow is tomorrow. We'll deal with that tomorrow. But for now, I done had some homemade vegetable soup. couple of hot dogs. Yeah, we're getting warmed up, man, playing the Fender Strat. And the trusty, look at there, see how far, that went down. And our trusty Snort Tuner. Yeah, man. Can you guess what I'm playing through today? Can you notice a different tone? I'll give you a few seconds to see if you can come up with an answer. For people who watch this channel on a regular basis or subscribe. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. We'd love to have you. My name is Joe. This is my channel, Joe Wentz Project TV. I love to do guitar-related videos, live vlogs, live drives, all kind of cool stuff, man. I like to do podcasts. I like to do these things called hangouts where I can have some friends on with me and have a discussion about whatever. So it's a pretty nice plethora of stuff to choose from here. Not everybody likes the same thing that I do. I understand that. But I try to keep it spread out so it's not too, repetitive, I guess, And so, yeah, there you go. That's right. I'm going through the microcube, rolling microcube today. How about that, Ben Coombs, how you doing, man? He says his place looked like mine this morning. Oh, yeah, with all the snow. Yeah, it's crazy. See, it's crazy down here when that stuff happens. It's crazy. Mike himself wants to know if I watch Tone King's channel. No, I do not. No, I have in the past, and nothing negative or nothing. It's just I don't know, man. I watched it and it's cool. But something just didn't grab me about it. So no, I don't watch it, And it's like I said, it's nothing negative or nothing bad. It's just, some things you watch, some things you don't, And so no, I haven't checked it out in a while, But I do know that our metal stage is going to have them on very soon, which is cool, man. I think that's awesome. I'm happy for those guys, man. They want to talk guitars and metal and all kind of cool stuff, gear and all that. So that's great, man. I'm happy for those guys. I really am. I think it's cool. Yes, he does have a lot of gear now. Yeah, absolutely. He has a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, man. Cool deal. Unlike me, I'm running on a like a skeleton crew over here, but it works. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Yeah, Ben Coombs says he don't have much gear himself. Yeah, it's you know, I don't need a whole lot of stuff. You know, it's nice to have stuff like that. You know, and a wall of amps and all that. And if that's your thing, man, that's cool. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with that. That just doesn't do nothing for me, man. It's just kind of like, I don't know. I just do good with just simple stuff, man. I don't, I just get what I think I would like to have, far as tone and stuff like that, and go with it. And if it works, great. If it don't, I'll try something else. Would I like to have a bunch of equipment? It depends, man. Number one, I don't have room for that, and number two, I don't have the money for that. But if you do, hey, man, more power to you, right? But I'm doing good to have what I got, and it works. It works for me, and that's all that matters. As long as if it works for you, man, that's all that matters, right? Michaels himself said he went overboard on guitars. Really? How many guitars you got there, Michaels himself? I think I went kind of overboard on that myself. I don't have as many as other people. I have enough. We'll put it that way. I think at one time it was like 23. I think I'm down to 22 now, I believe. I can't count. We still got stuff over here left over from stuff that hasn't been properly stored yet, so it's blocking my view. So I don't know how many's over here and over there, and then you got the gig bags and some over here, and they're everywhere. And this one is on the wall, so yeah, it's cool. It works. But I think at one time I had 23 or 24, and my goal was to have 20. I don't know why. I have no idea where that came from, that number, but the main goal I wanted a long time ago was 20. I said, man, I'd love to have just 20 guitars, And so yeah, I hit that goal, and then a few more over that, So I got like this right here. We get it right there. Is a 12-string acoustic. I don't get that out too much. What we got? And you got some over here. It's a Fender Squier, and then this right here is a Les Paul, and you got my Wolfgang Specials are in these gig bags. Man, this is weird doing it backwards, looking at the camera. Wolfgang Specials are in here. I got another Fender Strat with a Floyd Rose in here. I got a Telecaster. I got the Hendrix Strat. I got the Jackson. There's another Carolina Blue Strat that had some crazy off-the-wall name. So I got quite a few right there as well. And these are the ones I really like to play a lot, so I keep them right here so I can access them really easy. You know what I mean? And, man, I broke my tuner. The room in here is very limited. The space, I should say. So I keep those right there so I can get to them. Now, I do have a beautiful Les Paul that I got from Center, solid black Les Paul Gibson Les Paul Studio right there, and my Zach Wild Epiphones, the two cases. I'm looking at them right there. Those are wonderful guitars, and I have another Epiphone over there. And let's see, another Fender Strat in the case, another Telecaster. It's crazy, man. Bass guitar, OLP over there. It's crazy. So, yeah, it's what I love to do, man. I love to play music, guitars. If I had the money, oh yeah, I'd get a guitar like once a month. It'd be something else. Oh my goodness, Mike himself says he has 30 plus guitars. He has a problem. He said. He says I got a problem. No, you don't, man. No, I think it's awesome, man. Wow, I hope you got plenty of room. Hey, Mr. James Lau, how are you doing, sir? Yes, it's a good day to stay in and play. Yes, I think you had some autocorrect going on, but I think I figured it out. I think I was able to untwist it. I think that's what you were wanting to say. A good day to stay in and play. I believe that's what it was supposed to read. Oh, man. Yes, it is. It's a perfect day for that. Yeah, there you go. Stay in. That's cool, man. I got you. I got you, Mr. Lyle. Yeah. Awesome, man. Mike Ray, how are you, sir? Do I like 24 fret guitars? Yeah, it's fine. It's fine with me. It doesn't bother me. I don't know if I even have any. I might have a couple. It takes me a little bit to get used to it, but I don't have a problem with them. Yeah, they're fine with me. You know, get that extra note, right? When you're bending up real high on the high E string. So yeah, pretty cool. Mr. James Lyle wants to know, have I played a 7-string? No, no, sir, I have not. That does not appeal to me whatsoever. I'm doing good to play with 6 strings. So a 7-string, no, sir, no, sir. I never have. I've just never. Like I said, man, they make things for different people. Everybody likes something different, right? That just doesn't do nothing for me. I remember seeing when Steve Vai came out with that with Ibanez, and I was like, what in the world? Of course, Steve Vai can make anything work that he puts his hands on, right? And then it wasn't long after that you started seeing a change in the music. Everybody had these drop tunings; they were dropped really low, and that just lost me. I was like, oh God Almighty, come on, man. I just didn't care for it. I was like, what in the world? So. Now you got people with like 8-string guitars or something like that playing all this crazy stuff, man. The fretboard is like this wide, and I'm like, what are y'all doing? But nothing stays the same, as they say. Things change. So I think, in my opinion, now this is just me. This is just my humble opinion. I think so many things have been done on the guitar. It's done reached a certain pinnacle, and it really can't go past that point. So many things have been done. It's like, what else can be done? You got, Jimi Hendrix, Jimmy Page, Eddie Van Halen, Steve Vai, Yngwie Malmsteen, Randy Rhoads, the guys that you normally hear in that bracket that have done so much for the electric guitar and pushed it to a new spectrum, I guess, a new area of certain technique, and really what can be done now. So people are starting to change things around. That's what I feel, and maybe to try to keep it interesting for some people as well, something different, for me, I'm old school. I'm a classic rock kind of guy. That's what I love. I love blues, which I think you could tell that in the beginning of this. So, that's just what I like, just minor pentatonic blues scales and a couple little riffs here and there, and I'm happy. I don't have to try to do some Ingve riff or something. Number one, I can't do that. Number two, it's just too much. There was a dude now, and I'm not saying nothing negative at all. Everybody who has a YouTube channel and they put content on it, they can do what they want as long as they stay within the rules and regulations of YouTube, right? There was a gentleman I watched. What was it, last night? He was reviewing a Wolfgang special. I think it was like a stealth Wolfgang special. And the guy was sitting in the chair, man. And I'm not joking. He had a strap on. Some people like to have their guitar at a certain level. I like to have mine about gut level, I guess. Not belt buckle level, but maybe gut level or something like that. He had his guitar. I'm not joking, man. I mean, I'm not making fun of the dude. I just don't see how he plays like this. He had the guitar. He had one of those wide straps. And the guitar was up to here. And he was sitting in a chair, and the guitar was up here. And I was like, man, the top of the guitar is about to touch his neck. That's how he's doing. He's doing a review. And anyway, he's sitting there playing, and he's just doing all this crazy, I guess it was supposed to be shred, but it was so sterile. It was ridiculous. I mean, it had no feeling in it whatsoever. What he was doing anyway. And he just kept doing that over and over and over and over and over. And I was like, what are you doing, man? I said, click. I got us, and I can't take this, man. He had hardly no bends, no vibrato, no nothing. He was just, and I was like, well, good luck to the dude, but that blew my mind. I was like, how can he play like that? Because of course, when y'all see me play, I'm sitting down all the time because of the way everything is set up. But every once in a while, I'll stand up and play because you need to do that. Because sitting down and playing and standing up, it puts everything in a different position pretty much. And it can throw things for a loop if you're not careful. So be sure to stand up and play a lot too, James Lau says he's with me on the 70s and 80s, the best. Yeah, that's just my opinion, man. Not everybody likes that, and that's cool. But some of this new stuff that's out now, I just can't listen to it, man. I just, now I do like, I mean, don't get me wrong. If there's a guitar related album, I'll listen to it and give it a shot, right? Because I respect these artists. Eric Johnson's got a new album out, and I listened to that, I guess about a month or so ago. And I got that Google Play app on my phone, and you can stream music for free, listen to albums or whatever. It don't cost you nothing, And I listened to it, and it was okay. It was great, but it was typical Eric Johnson. It's like, what else can Eric Johnson do? Not that he needs to do anything. That's not what I'm saying, but it's kind of like, I was kind of like, it's okay, man. But his best album for me was Ivy of Music Con with Clissa Dover, and he sang on that album, which he sang on this album too, this newest one. But that Ivy of Music Con was just amazing, man. He had some wonderful song. I mean, almost every song was just out of the park for me. This album here is okay. He does a few covers. He kind of puts his own twist on it. It's okay, but I want to listen to it once, and maybe I need to go back and listen to it again. But Ty Tabor has a new album out. I've been waiting on that. It's called Alien Beans, which that's the name of his studio. If you're not familiar with Ty Tabor, he's the guitar player for King's X. And I love his guitar playing. He has his guitar tuned down, maybe a step or something like that, but it's not no crazy like death metal stuff. He's real tasteful in his chords, and he does a lot of what they call drone notes. Like he'll keep that one going, and he'll do something else. You know what I'm saying? He does a lot of that. But his new album just came out, and it's a huge album. I mean, like a lot of content. And he's got 2 new songs that were promoted on YouTube from Rat Pack Records, I believe. And one is called Freight Train, and the other one is called Johnny Guitar. Those songs are awesome. I listened to the heck out of them songs. It was new stuff. I loved it. I haven't listened to the whole album yet. But I went back and listened to a lot of his old stuff, his solo albums, and they were phenomenal. He just has a wonderful touch on the instrument. Mike Ray wants to know if the Floyd Rose on the Sterling Music Man, does it pull up? In other words, is it a floating tremolo or is it just like a Wolfgang? It's just you just go down on it on the Floyd Rose. One Direction. It's it's kind of like a floating kind of sort of, Mr. Ray. It is a little bit. You can pull up on it a little bit, and you can tell a difference, but it's not a real huge difference. Like on the Wolfgang Special, you can't. It's just like you just go to your dive bomb in one direction down, and that's it. Which I've gotten used to that. That's fine too. But the Sterling Music Man, it does have a little bit of play in it. Yeah, not a whole lot, but a little bit. Oh, you're welcome, Mr. Ray. I think Mr. Coombs is having technical issues over there. The power went out. Now he's back watching on his phone and going back and forth from that to the tablet. Yeah, that's the only thing here, man. It was like outside our heat pump. The fan quit turning on it, but the pump was still, the unit was running, but the fan wasn't turning. And so I went out there, and there's ice all over the top of the metal grate there. So I took a screwdriver and I turned it around, took the handle, and tap, 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 broke all the ice up, get all that ice off the unit. And it's working now. It's fine now. But I was like, uh-oh. And there's a lot of people in the surrounding area with no power, so it's as long as we still got lights, man, we're good. We got heat and everything else. Dio and Maiden. Oh yeah, absolutely. Dio. Yeah, I love my favorite album by Dio is Holy Diver. That's my favorite album by them. Never got into Iron Maiden that much. There was one song I liked by them. Can I Play with Madness? I remember that from God, long, long time ago. I liked that song. I thought it was cool, but I never got into the whole Maiden thing that much. Like I said, Dio, Holy Diver. I've wore that cassette album out growing up, man. Vivian Campbell, holy smokes, man! And that album is just phenomenal. That whole album is just unbelievable, and it's I never knew. I think I've talked about this before, but I never knew that Vivian Campbell and Ronnie James Dio back in the day had such a huge feud between the two. I guess after Vivian Campbell left, or I don't know all the ins and outs of it, but I never knew they had such a falling out, and they had this hatred for each other. And I was like, my God. So it was, maybe somebody can fill me in the chat, because I never knew that. I never knew it was that bad. I was like, wow. What else have I heard? I heard yesterday that Def Leppard might possibly turn down the invitation to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. The drummer, Rick Allen, the drummer for Def Leppard, phenomenal drummer, man. God Almighty, talk about the comeback kid. I heard on a video yesterday. Now this is what I heard, so it's not me saying this. That he's saying that he doesn't need a board of directors to tell them that they're good and they're deserving of an award. He says all that matters is our fans. So I don't know if they get a invite to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So far, it's looking like they're just going to turn it down, and they said they're not worried about it, So I was like, wow, man, there you go. So it kind of makes you wonder, the people that's on the board for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, do they even really like music? Do they really pay attention to artists out there? I mean, look, who else has been out? I mean, there's so many other artists that should be in there by now. Doobie Brothers, that's another one. They should be in there. They're not in there. So many, and it's just unbelievable. Oh, well, another note too, that what is it? This year is the 40th anniversary of Hotel California with the Eagles. And we know, what was it? Was it last year around this time? Glenn Frey passed away. But here it is, the 40th anniversary, and they still are leaving Don Felder out in the cold. And he's the one that wrote, pretty much 95% of that music, for that song, and they're still ignoring him and all that stuff. When he left, actually he got fired. Glenn Frey fired him not long after they did that Hell Freezes Over tour in the 90s. And because I got his book, and I've listened to that audiobook probably 3 times. It is an amazing book, a tell-all book too. If you haven't checked that out, My Life with the Eagles, Heaven and Hell by Don Felder, check that out, man. I also got the physical copy that he autographed for me. I got it in there. It's awesome. Don Felder, amazing guitar player. I think he's they're coming here later on in the year, of course. I think it's going to be Don Felder with Styx and somebody else. So they've been doing a lot of stuff with Styx lately. Him and Don Felder. I think that's cool. I think Tommy Shaw comes out and helps him with Hotel California and all that stuff. I think that's pretty cool. And it's really wild, man. Mr. Coombs says the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is run by people that are affiliated with the Rolling Stone magazine. Is that what he's saying? Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know who the people are in charge of picking the bands. I have no idea. So I can't really speculate a lot on that. I can give an opinion on it, but I just don't understand what's going on with that organization. But, there's a lot of stuff in the world that I don't understand. So what can you do? But anyway, so back to the Eagles. They're supposed to be bringing in Vince Gill, right, to be an Eagle. And I also heard that they were going to bring in Glenn Frey's son to take the place of his father, not take the place of, but maybe stand in for that position or something. I don't know, as a tribute to Glenn. I don't know 100% about that yet either. So Vince Gill is going to definitely bring the countryside back to the Eagles, because that's how the Eagles started. It was kind of a country flavor. What was that? Bernie Ledden was the first guitar player they had, and he was more of a country, lap steel, all this other stuff. And then they brought in Don Felder, and he put more of a rock aspect to it. And then Bernie Ledden and Glenn Frey got into it. Bernie Ledden left, and that's when they brought in Joe Walsh. And of course, Joe Walsh was huge at the time. He had a huge solo career, right? They brought him in, and it just they skyrocketed, And then in 1980, tensions really rose up a lot. And there's actually footage on YouTube, if you pull it up, of Glenn Frey and Don Felder having words back and forth on stage. Glenn Frey talking about he's going to whoop Don Felder's ass and all this other stuff, going back and forth. And that's when they kind of went on hiatus in 1980. And then they didn't come back around until, what was it, like 94? Something like that, 93, 94 for the Hell Freezes Over tour. And then after that, Glenn Frey fired Don Felder. You know why? Because he noticed something wasn't right with the money. It was like Glenn Frey and Don Henley were getting more of the money. And every time he asked about it, they just kept, don't worry about it, it'll be all right. And finally, he got him a lawyer and sent the proper documents in there to ask questions. And Glenn Frey didn't like that, and he called him up and fired him. But he couldn't just fire him, because he was a full partner. When Don Felder joined the Eagles, he signed a contract that said he was a full partner of Eagles Limited. Can you believe this? This is a true story. And so they couldn't really fire him. They settled. They ended up settling out of court. But so Don Felder still gets royalties from that stuff, merchandise, everything. Every time the Eagles play, he gets some money from that, those songs that he was affiliated with and his name's on. So he's still making a really good living, even though he's not in them. But, I think part of him still wishes he was in there, but I think it's kind of like a bad marriage, a marriage that went bad. Everything's good in the beginning, things get sour, things you break up, you divorce, or whatever. But things, when you get to that point, things will never be the way they used to be. You just know, and why would you want to go back to that? So he's happy doing his thing. I can just tell, man, he's happy doing his own thing. Don Felder, that is. Let's check the chat. Yes, Ben Coombs says most of the best bands are not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Yeah, they're not, are they? They got this off the wall, quote unquote, artist in there. I'm like, why are these people in there? So, what do I know? Mike himself says the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame sucks. Good for Def Leppard. Hope they do turn it down. Yeah, it's crazy. Oh, okay. Ben Coombs says Vince Gill will play with the Eagles until Glenn Fry's son is able to learn all the material and step in for his father. Glenn Fry's son has even grew his hair long and a mustache just like his father. Well, if that's the case, that's awesome. I think that's cool, man. That's cool. But, when I told you about Don Felder was a full partner, see, when Bernie Ledden left and, what's his name? That first bass player they had? When he left, they surrendered their shares. So they don't look at all that money they lost. If they just would have kept their shares, man, they surrendered all of it. So Don Felder didn't. He said, it's a smart move. So the only full partner left would be Don Henley. That's it. Him and Don Felder. Because Joe Walsh, when they brought him in, he's not a full partner. He gets paid whenever they do an album or if they do a tour. He gets a really nice paycheck, kind of like the guys from Kiss. Tommy Thayer and Eric Singer, they get a nice check when those guys are on tour or doing shows, but other than that, that's it. They don't get nothing, But Don Felder is still a full partner. I think that's awesome. Hey, Rando, how you doing, man? How are you, sir? Yeah. Joe Walsh is amazing. I love Joe Walsh, man. He is a phenomenal guitar player. James Gang, all that. I mean, come on, man. Golly. They got him at the right time because he was full of ambition, wasn't he? Man, golly. He tore some hotel rooms up with a chainsaw and all that stuff. Don Felder said that Joe Walsh used an electric chainsaw because the gas chainsaw would be too loud. So the electric chainsaw, you wouldn't hear nothing until you saw the blade coming through the door or the wall or something. I was like, my God. Crazy. All right, Mike himself, have a good one, man. Thank you for stopping in. Hope you have a great day. Rando, he says, yes, this is a made in Mexico Strat. Fender, yes, sir. Let's see, I don't think 2002, I believe. Yeah, 2002. God, yeah, I've had it for a long time. It's a great guitar. I put some new strings on it earlier today. Just trying to play with it a little bit, get it stretched out, right? Wait a minute. Hang on a minute. I forgot. I drew a blank. There we go. Speaking of Joe Walsh, right? Haven't tried that in forever. As you can tell. Joe Walsh, though, awesome songs. Ben Coombs, yeah, Joe Walsh is one of my heroes. I heard he played guitar or something. Yeah, he's awesome, man. Thank you for the thumbs ups, y'all. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thumbs ups help support the channel. It's the easiest and best way to support this channel. It don't cost you a dime. Hit that thumbs up button. Thank you very much. I truly appreciate that. Thank you. And thank you for stopping by. Thanks for taking the time to come by and chat with me. I really appreciate that. We'll have a good old time, right? Oh, Ben Coombs, you gonna pick up a roll and go mixer? Okay, now let me tell you. Let's see here. I know there's one input for one microphone. You might get away with doing something with another input for a microphone. You just have to toy with it. But if you do that, I think that you will be pleasantly surprised with it. I love mine. The only time I have any trouble is with the internet, with my connection, and I have no control over that whatsoever, as I just said. But as far as a roll and go mixer, it's amazing. It's worth the $100. I wish it was a little cheaper, but for what it is, I think it's worth it. You know, it does great. It sounds a lot better than just using a microphone on your device or whatever. You can run direct. I would say, though, Mr. Coombs, if you get it, which I'm glad you are, and do some test runs first, because you're going to have to get your levels right. And the thing is, there is a peak light on here, so if you're too loud, there's a red light. It's called peak. It'll light up red, and you know that level's too loud for whatever you're using. When I first went on here, that's what I was doing. I was doing my, check, all that stuff, I'm looking down and see if that light lit up, and then when I hit the guitar, it lit up. So I knew to turn down my amp just a little bit, and I had to do the same on the little mixer, not the Go mixer, but my other, what I'm going through. And yeah, there you go, man. It's great audio and everything else. And like I said, that's the name of the game, man. That's the whole trick. Decent audio will carry you a lot further than what you think. It really will. Oh, it's 140. Oh, that's right. You're in Canada. That's right. Yeah. So it's a little bit more. Yeah. Well, it's, I know things are a little bit higher there, but still, it's worth it, man. It's a great tool to have. It's a great little piece of gear to have, and I use mine all the time. I really do. It's perfect for what I'm doing, and that's what it's made for. It's made to you can run your stuff in it and go to your smartphone and have great audio. That's what it's designed to do. And there's a bunch of videos on YouTube, Mr. Coombs, as well, that I looked at before I bought mine. I sat there and did a lot of research and looked at a bunch of musicians. I looked at people playing guitar. I looked at people that were singing, all that stuff. And then you had the reviews from the guy that's 20 years old, still living at home, and he just got out of the shower or whatever. His hair's all wet, and he's trying to do a review, and he's got zits all over his face. And it's like, oh my God, me and my band, we use this. I was like, come on, dude, like, come on now, you got to do better than that. Put a little bit more effort in your videos, man. It was crazy. It was funny, but anyway. So, yeah. So if you need any help with that, Mr. Coombs down the road, let me know, man. I'll be glad to try to help you out. I do know that it comes with 2 USB. Let me see if I can grab one. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Tried that not to happen, but it happened, so I haven't got time to mess with it. Okay, this is just something else. But anyway, the USB they send you, it's got like 2 of these, one on one end and a small one on the other. This is just a regular. But they give you 2 of these cords. And one is for an Android and one is for an iPhone, right? And, of course, like I said, mine wouldn't work because the charger port is different on this phone. And so if you don't know what I'm talking about, go back on my channel and just type in, does a roll and go mixer work with the Samsung Galaxy 8 Plus, something like that, and it'll pull up the video, and it'll show you exactly what I have to do to make it work. And that video has got a lot of views on it. I didn't even know it had that many views till I just happened to went through some of my videos a couple of weeks ago. I said, man, golly. So apparently there's some people out there that have a Samsung Galaxy 8 Plus, and they got the roll and go mixer, and they was like, it's not working. I was like, no kidding, it's not working. You need to pay attention to the video, The comments down there, well, what if I do this and this? I'm like, well, you need to watch the video, I mean, that's why I made the video. All you got to do is watch it and pay attention, and it's self-explanatory, So, yeah, as long as you have a regular Samsung charger port on your smartphone, if you have an Android device, you ain't got nothing to worry about. If you got an iPhone, you don't have nothing to worry about. Samsung Galaxy 8 Plus is where you run into an issue. There is a way around it. Since I can't put the USB plug into the phone, people are asking me, well, how are you charging the Go Mixer for power? Where does the power coming from? I got a regular USB coming out of my computer into the Go Mixer, and that's what powers it. That's where I'm getting the power. And coming out of the media output is an iRig 2, and that's going into the headphone jack of my smartphone. So that's how it's able to pick up the audio. And it works. I didn't know if it would work, but it works. And I was glad it worked because I didn't want to have to send it back. I was like, man, that's $100 for nothing. But it worked. As you can hear, it worked. So it works, man. Oh, you're welcome, Mr. Coombs. No, not a problem, man. Not a problem. I'm happy to help. Oh, you're going to go into a... Now, you got to be sure you're going into the device you're going to record with. You see what I'm saying? So, you need... Well, you do what you want to do, but if it was me, I'd go into my smartphone because that's where you're going to be recording live on YouTube, right? So, you got to use your smartphone. So, this Go Mixer will go into your smartphone. You know what I'm saying? That's where you need to do your test. That's what this is designed for a smartphone, not an iPad or nothing like that. It's for a smartphone. You might not get the same results with an iPad or something like that. And then again, you might. I don't know. I'm not an expert. I'm just going by what I've researched and what I've dealt with. But you get it, man, and mess with it. And if you have any questions, just send me a message. I'll be glad to try to help you out the best I can. Roland Go Mixer. Yes. Awesome way to go for excellent audio quality when you're recording a video or when you're live streaming, just like we're doing right here on the Joe Wentz Project TV channel on YouTube. Cool deal, Mr. Coombs. I hear you, man. I hear you. Yeah, just when you get it all hooked up, man, do some test runs, man, and see what works best for you. The reason I said smartphone is because more than likely your smartphone is going to have a better camera than an iPad and all that, unless you have like a new iPad, something. I don't know what the megapixels or whatever is on your iPad, but usually a smartphone would have a better camera. So, like I said, great audio and great video. Put that together with some creative content, and it's a home run. A lot of times it's you get 2 out of 3. Sometimes 1 out of 3, as my case. It's just it just all depends. Like I said, it's going live is like going fishing. You got to find the right fishing hole at the right time in the right place, and go from there, right? Oh, okay. Okay, Mr. Coombs. I hear you, man. That's awesome. Cool deal. Good deal, man. Well, it'll work out for you, man. Like I said, you just do some test runs. You'll be fine. You'll be fine, dude. And you'll notice a huge difference too. And you'll be like, whoa, my God, that's like night and day, And that's what you want. You want something that's going to make a difference in a positive way, not a negative way. Let's see what we got going on here. No wonder. We got one sharp. New strings, man. Look there. See, I stretched it and it went flat. Just that quick. Here we go. Let's try it now. Yeah. All right, guys, I'm getting ready to call it. Let's check the chat one more time before we get out of here. Sounds good, Mr. Coombs. I'll be looking forward to it, man. Glad you're having fun. That's what it's all about. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you very much, man. Be sure to check the next video, which will be over here, the subscribe button, which is right here. If this is your first time, please subscribe. We'd love to have you. Until next time, this is Joe Wentz for the Joe Wentz Project TV. Subscribe. Next video. See you next time, folks. God bless. Bye-bye.